You talk about a multi-generational or family business, and from the outside, it can be like, oh, they just walked in. No, as their daughter, they had higher expectations. And they grew the business. We've now been in business for 43 years. Amazing. It's not like they're going to turn it over to just like anyone because they're family and not have a skill set, because then all of their hard work is down the drain. Because I was their daughter, it was also me walking in knowing I had to show up on a different level. I love being the CEO. I know this is where I was truly meant to be. I will say though, those pressures, because of who I am, are still real.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Pivot to Profit. My amazing guest today is Julie Rotuno, and she's a second generation owner at Mid-Atlantic Packaging. I am so excited to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we are live at an event here in Dallas, and so I've been able to pull aside amazing entrepreneurs and founders to tell their story of their business. So before we dive into that, what did you want to be when you were a little girl? Were you like dreaming of like taking over mom and dad's business?
No. No, that was definitely
That's not the dream.
Not the dream.
So what was little Julie dreaming about?
When I was little, I was a dancer. So
Okay.
I'm sure at one point it was that. And then when I was in high school, I actually went between teaching and going into business, like in general. And I actually have my teaching degree, and I taught first grade for a couple of years before I was like, business. I love the kids, but like business was where I needed to be.
This is my heart. I love it. So with parents who owned a business, what were you taught about money as a child, Julie? Was money good? Was money bad? Was it scarce? Was it evil? Like, what was money to you?
That is really interesting, like when I look back on it, because when I was little, I never thought about it. I knew that I had what I needed. Now that as I got older, my parents shared, as far as my mom, she would go grocery shopping and count, like add up in her head how much groceries were, because they had all of their money put into starting the business and growing the business. And that is a huge undertaking. So we would go shopping, and it was, all right, let's go look at the sale section, the clearance section.
For sure.
And so that naturally put those in place for who I am now. Mm-hmm. So they really started the business to really be successful and booming when I was in high school, going into college. So I was older at that point, but even then, my mom was still very much about
Pinching pennies and what's on sale.
Yeah.
So even though money became more abundant, she was still what's on sale, penny pinching.
Yes, my parents are huge savers.
Not a bad thing.
Yes, watching, being aware of expenses.
Okay. So went to school to be a teacher. Actually did it for a minute. Love that. I was a teacher for 6 months. I failed. So what was the turning point for you that was like, you know what, mom and dad have built something, I want to be a part of it? Tell me what that was like for you.
My second year of teaching, my grandfather, my mom's father, was in the hospital for almost 4 months. I was teaching. I had a really challenging class that year. My husband and I had gotten married when I graduated college, so we were in our second year of marriage. So of course I was starting to think about what I wanted in my future. And with my grandfather being in the hospital and really, really sick, for as much as my parents worked so hard my whole life, my mom also at that point had the flexibility to be able to be there for my grandparents, for my pop-up, where I was as a teacher. So after school, after work, I did that. Or if something serious happened and then I had to get plans for a substitute, it was really hard. It made me have to really soul search as far as what I wanted, as well as career-wise. I always wanted to climb the ladder, and at one point with teaching, I thought I wanted to be a principal, and then witnessing my principal, like my boss, I was like, absolutely not. No. So yeah, that was a big piece of it, and there was not any positions available in my parents in Mid-Atlantic Packaging when I was looking, and so my husband and I had bought a house. My husband had gotten out of the military. He was actually working as a sales rep at Mid-Atlantic Packaging at that time. And so my dad said, well, we need the office painted. If you need a job and need to make some money, then you can paint the whole office. And that is actually what I did.
So Dad called you in and be like, come paint the office.
Yes.
While your husband's in sales, they're
Yes.
like, Julie, come paint. A grown woman. I love it. So where did you progress from painting to now, like, running? It's
a big jump.
big jump there, Queen.
So then a position opened that fall and in purchasing and customer service. And at that point, never in my wildest dreams would I be sitting here having this conversation in front of an audience. I didn't even like to call and order food. It was ridiculous.
Julie was quiet.
And so when it came to having to get on the phone and talk to customers, I was forced to do it.
You have bills, you have a mortgage.
Exactly. And I really loved it. And I loved the packaging. I loved the purchasing side. I didn't realize until it was time to hire an assistant and train that person, and realizing how hard it was to find the right person, that I had talents. Because I just thought anyone could do what I was doing.
Oh, wait, I may be good at something because it is harder than it is.
Yeah.
Why can't you do this? I can do it all the time.
Right. But it's the truth. I just, I was in my 20s, and I was just not giving myself any credit, clearly, now looking back on things.
Now you can be like, I was amazing at that.
Yes.
Good job. So what is your role in the business now?
So I've been CEO for 3.5 years.
Go.
I love it. I love it on all levels. Before that, I was COO. Okay. So my mom mentored me for 5 years. My mom ran the daily operations of the business the entire time. And my mom and my dad founded it. And then my dad's brother joined the company a couple years later. So it was the three of them. So my mom started mentoring me when I realized, okay, this is what I want to do. But at that point, I still hadn't said the word CEO. And so at first I was being mentored as far as COO.
So the operations processes side, not
Everything.
it's my ship. Okay.
Yes.
So when was the transition of I want a different letter in my title because I want the E instead of the O?
Probably a year or two before I became COO. It was a 5-year process of different people starting to report to me, everything like that. A lot of times it's so interesting because you talk about a multi-generational or family business, and from the outside it can be oh, they just walked in. No.
Queen was painting the office.
And as their daughter, they had higher expectations. And they grew the business. We've now been in business for 43 years.
Amazing.
It's not like they're going to turn it over to just anyone because they're family and not have a skill set, because then all of their hard work is down the drain. Because I was their daughter, it was also me walking in knowing I had to show up on a different level.
Because this is mom and dad's thing that
Yeah.
if I screw this up, it's not just okay, great, I'll start again. It's no, this is mom and dad's thing.
So I love being the CEO. I know this is where I was truly meant to be. I will say though, those pressures, because of who I am, are still real. I think that'll probably always, in its own way, be the case because of who I am. Because I just naturally put a lot of pressure on myself.
Makes sense. So are your parents and uncle and husband, who's roll call, who's still a part of this business? Are your husband's boss? Because that'd be fantastic.
No. So I know. So actually he left the business 5 years ago because we own a couple other businesses. He runs, and he's the CEO, and he has his companies that he does. And my mom retired, and I stepped in as COO. And then 3.5 years, my dad stepped down as CEO, and he works for me. And so does my Uncle Don. My uncle, he's retiring the end of this year. And my dad, I don't know when, which is totally, I say that and it's fine.
We're not trying to fire Dad.
No, he proudly tells people that he works for me. It's been 3.5 years, and I have not fired him yet. But that it has been shared with him that I might have thought about it a couple of times.
Dad, you're really letting me down.
Because as you can imagine, when you've built a company and then you hand that over, somebody else steps in, I can only imagine. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yes, and I'm sure you've made changes, Julie. How did you make changes at Mid-Atlantic that were like, yes, Dad, that's how we used to do it, but I have a better new idea?
I have had the way things have worked out, blessings that have come into play. For example, we have changed the company where we used the majority of our sales and revenue came from plain stock of packaging. My dad and I built an in-house production team.
Oh.
And so because of that transition, I've been the one hiring the team. I've been the one building the staff. So naturally those were there before I was there that are still working. It was that natural progression of they do see me as running things.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, that's all they know. But I was given that blessing of my dad and I rebuilding the company and changing things because we had to.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, that obviously really impacted our customers, our independent retailers, independent businesses. So that was heavily impacted. We acquired another company during that time.
Amazing.
So
That's
there was
huge.
a lot of moving pieces that were gifts to me as far as being able to start to also make it my own. And then now as the CEO and being the one that has that vision and is guiding my team and the company to the future is so exciting. And it is also trying to have that balance though, because of us being in business so long and we have customers that have been with us for so long. It's respecting the past and knowing the strengths from it, but also in order to stay in business, you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to continue to grow and change in what the industry needs.
And that's so true because it doesn't matter what industry you're in, packaging, or service provider, e-commerce, whatever. We've got a lot of hair salons. Like COVID did a number for all of our businesses. But the economy, the climate, everything changes. And so if you're not able to pivot, you just die. And so the fact that your dad was able to be part of that transition and that change makes it so much easier because you have the wisdom of the past, but then also your new fresh eyes but also we can do this and it's better or faster or quicker. How have you grown your money awareness? Because you can't run a second generation 40 plus year old multi-7-figure business without handling money. Where was your money education come from?
The foundation of it started with my mom. She mentored me for 5 years. So it was very much about her mentoring me being in those meetings, me going over with the profit and loss, with the balance sheet. My mom has her business degree and she really knows her numbers and she is the queen of negotiations. So I learned from the best, and in that part, they also saw the need for me to be able to be out there getting to meet other business owners or people that were next up. So I actually joined a business group that was called Nudge, that was the next up and comers, and their companies were in all different types of businesses, being exposed to things that way. And also once I became CEO, joined CEO school, working with Sanera. And so those are the types of things of really just digging in, working with our head accountant, just being exposed. I've worked in every department in my company in one form or of another. I did go back to college, started my master's program. However, it was in the middle of me also having children, and I was learning so much just doing it. I stopped going to school for my master's because I wasn't getting what I needed.
Yeah, just dealing with the numbers on a day-to-day basis is going to teach you more than a textbook.
Yes.
So as the CEO, what are some metrics or numbers that you track on a weekly basis, Julie, that really tip the scale for your business? And what I find is every business is different in what they track. Like people ask me as a CFO all the time, like, what numbers should I track? And the answer is it depends.
Right.
So for your business, what numbers are the ones that you need to know on a weekly basis to make sure we're good or we have a problem?
My team, we have what we call my CEO dashboard, and it is the key things in the different departments that I need to know on a weekly basis to know how we're doing as a company. And some of those areas are what our revenue is, our profit margin.
There you go. Profit. Sales are important, but profit's more important.
Correct, because you can be supposedly making a lot of money, selling a lot, but then knowing my operation expenses, what is the bottom line? So we monitor that on a weekly basis. Besides our margin, some of our expenses and what percentage of everything is that, so that I can see what's happening. For example, with mistakes, errors, that then we have to do credits, we have to do returns. What is that costing our company? Because, okay, we have those sales dollars, but then if we're having to fix mistakes, then that's taking from the bottom line.
Because if you've got to do another run, you're not collecting another dime from clients,
Correct.
but it's going to cost you the $5,000 to do the
Yes.
rerun.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. And I love the fact that you're saying, yes, sales are important, but it's not the key indicator of success.
No.
And far too often business owners just use sales as, hey, look, I'm a $7 million company. I'm amazing. And okay, well, I've met $7 million businesses that are broke.
All the time. All the time.
It is crazy. So
Yes.
I'm so encouraged to hear that you're looking at numbers. So where are you based?
In Delaware.
Okay, but you, Mid-Atlantic Packaging, can service clients anywhere. And
Yes.
so I've seen you on Zoom calls where you show some of your products. So help our listeners understand, what is Mid-Atlantic Packaging package? Why people would want to or need your services?
We sell bags, boxes, tissue paper, ribbon, bows, e-commerce supplies, predominantly to independent retailers that are small to mid-sized businesses. Because of our packaging and how branding has evolved, that is where our company is completely changed from that standpoint. Because in today's age, branding, marketing is so important. And therefore, if you need packaging, let's use it to help you with brand awareness and making money. It's proven, studies after studies, that people shopping, buying things, it is also an emotional piece. It can make products be perceived as worth more than they are. A bottle of wine, a gift, anything based off of what it comes in. And
So
that's
true.
been a very big shift for our company that is so fun. And that has then broadened who our customers really can be. Because then it's about whether it is like a special event, or we work with a lot of third parties, a lot of marketing firms that they know marketing, branding, but they don't know packaging. We have graphic designer on hand. And so we literally can go from the beginning of the project all the way to delivery. We have a huge warehouse where we have stock products that ship the same day.
Yeah.
And then we have our production team where we hot stamp and ink print, like post print bags, boxes, certain mailers, products like that in-house. And that's been a game changer for us as well, because now we have control over lead times. We have control over like the minimum quantities that you need to purchase. And because we've been in business for 43 years, we also are partnered with the best manufacturers here in the United States, which is, especially currently and during the pandemic, is huge. And then we have amazing partners and manufacturers that are all around the world, and we have those options that, based off of the product, based off of the needs, what is best for our customers. And I really pride myself, and we pride ourselves at Mid-Atlantic with our concierge service, because customer service, that is the one area that you have control over. There's so many other areas with tariffs or with product availability. There's a lot of moving pieces that you don't always have control over. So in any business.
In life, yes.
And so that's where, what are the controllables? So whether it's finances and knowing your numbers, or customer service, it's just so important, because especially in 2025, it matters more than a lot of businesses give credit to. As far as, you want to have returning customers, and then revenue that is that returning revenue, that returning sales.
That is so true. And the custom boxes are what I see have increased so much.
Yeah.
I'm a number of different groups, and you know, when you sign up, they send you a box. And there's just something special about getting a custom box that has the logo and it's colorful. Is so much better than just getting a boring brown box. It really does matter. And to your point with the repeat customers, those types of organizations keep doing events, keep having groups come together. So having a retailer or a provider of packaging that can help you redesign, is US based, can get it to you, and can help weather the storm of the ups and downs. Because we have clients that do have products, and their products will be on a boat. We call it, it's on the water. Well, how long till it gets here? I don't know. It's on the water. So it's awful for our cash flow forecasting because, it's like, on the water doesn't mean that I can put it in a store and we can sell it next week. It's on the water.
And that's important too of cash flow, because that's the same for us, where maybe import orders at one point were 2 to 3 months, and now it's 5 to 6 months. When you talk about cash flow and like where the profits are going to hit, that matters. And for us, we do a lot of projecting, a lot of looking ahead. We have that knowing, like the book sales versus the invoice sales, so that we have an idea. It's never going to be perfect because things change, but at least we have an idea so that we know, okay, we need to make some shifts here. We need to make some pivots here. We need to move some things around. That is also the power of knowing your numbers, and that also helps by us knowing our numbers and looking at our customers, what type of min-maxes need to be set. When should we help guide them with when they need to reorder, reach out to them? Those are the concierge service that we do for our customers, especially for those custom branded packaging, so that ideally they don't ever run out.
So Julie, this is amazing. What is on the horizon for you? What's next?
Continuing to grow our retail packaging, the branded packaging area, and really educating people about the importance of it. And as I said, if you're going to have to spend money on packaging, on a bag, on a box, on tissue paper, well then let's get the most bang for our buck that we possibly can. Let's bring brand awareness. Let's showcase you, be that walking billboard for your brand so that you're known, especially in the retail world. When you think of some of the best brands that we know, like Kendra Scott or like Tiffany's, you also know what their packaging looks like.
Oh, I can spot just those two brands, Kendra Scott. If someone were walking down this hall, they got they're Kendra Scott. Oh, Tiffany. Oh, Hermes, Chanel.
Yes.
Okay, all of those brands are distinctive. The bag color, the font, like even if you're 50 feet away.
Yes, one of my favorite boutiques that is local to me in Delaware, that is one of our customers, Golden Poppy. She has her brand packaging, and let me tell you, when it's Christmas or my birthday and my husband comes in with a Golden Poppy bag or like a gift wrapped with her Golden Poppy ribbon, I get so excited because I'm like, yes, it's my favorite place. I know I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
And so like that's what you want, is to create that excitement for your customer. Even like for books, like you're like a bookstore or an event, that unboxing experience, you see all the time people taking pictures and videos of unwrapping gifts, unwrapping packages that come in the mail, as well as food. And like, for example, with food, instead of it just being on a regular tissue paper, put your brand name on it, so when it is on the internet, it is free advertisement.
Because if someone's going to video them unwrapping the swag bag from your event, it might as well be a box with your logo on it, tissue with your logo on it, like ribbons, all the things, so that the whole experience, start to finish, is your brand.
And it can absolutely be overwhelming. And that's where partnering with a company like mine, let us be the experts. We will walk you through it. If you know exactly what you want, perfect, we got you. You have no clue and you need help, perfect, we got you.
I love that. So Julie, where can people connect with you?
Yes. So our website, midatlanticpackaging.com, is where we have all of our stock products most products ship same day. It also has information as far as the branded packaging. You can set in a form for us to contact, or you can find us on Instagram, or me, Julie Rotuno, on LinkedIn. And then we can connect, and I will put you, whether it's with me or my amazing team that know, they are the true professionals, they know their stuff, then I will connect you with who you should be speaking with.
Amazing. Julie, this has been fantastic. I've loved hearing your story of going from teacher to office painter to COO to CEO, and now running your family's second generation 43-year business. And I have seen her products. They're amazing. So thank you so much for being on the podcast today. This is magical. Hey, listeners, if you need help understanding your numbers, because as Julie says, it's about profit. It's not about what you make. If you need help understanding where your numbers are, just go to pamjordan.com and book a call with my team. We'd love to help you. Because remember, it's not what you make that matters, it's what you keep.